Howdy there. So the other day, I watched Raising Arizona. Probably my favorite Coen Brothers film. And I watched it because I got this as well. And I will probably work my way through it in the weeks to come. But I had to start with Raising Arizona. It's almost a part of my DNA, I think. I watched this film. It's one of my earliest memories I have of film. I can remember seeing the poster in the theater. I don't think I saw it in the theater. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I don't know, maybe I did, you know, because I can distinctly remember staring at the poster, which was very similar to this. And in my very young mind, what is it, 1987, so I would have been 9 years old. In my 9-year-old mind, I can remember thinking, man, I've got to see this movie, because of the baby. The baby is wearing sunglasses. And I thought that it would have to be the coolest, funniest movie in the world if a baby is wearing sunglasses. That's something I'll never forget. And I can even remember, like, going to the box at the video store and just, like, holding it going, oh, man, this movie's gotta be so funny. So I saw it a lot when I was, you know, pre-teen. It was one of my favorite movies. I can also remember the way that my mother laughed. I mean, she would screaming laugh at this film. So I always remembered it, and it's basically, again, part of my lexicon. It's probably the entire reason why I say, well, okay then, as frequently as I do. It's just one of my favorite movies. It's a hefty Hall of Famer. I can't help but give it a 10. You know, it's one of my favorite movies, so I'm gonna give it a 10. It's about a kidnapping, as so many of the Coen Brothers films are. This is their second feature length after Blood Simple, and it's so interesting how so much of their career can be captured and pinpointed in those two first films, and how they've just been making kind of variations of those two films ever since. And, you know, in a nutshell, that's a very broad statement, I know. But, I mean, really, you can kind of boil down all their films to either being more Blood Simple or more Raising Arizona. You know, there's not too much, like, quirkiness, humor in Blood Simple. It's more like intense drama, mystery, noir, which would define their career. But this, you know, this is the blueprint for Big Lebowski. It's the blueprint for Fargo, the blueprint for Hudsucker Proxy, blueprint for Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I mean, really, this is kind of where it all starts, and it's hilarious. Let's see, I'm trying to tell what it's about. It's about a kidnapping. Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter kidnap one of the Arizona Quints, and because the Arizonas have too many kids, too much to do, they can't handle it all, so they figure, well, they won't miss one of them. So they take one of the Arizona Quints and try and raise it as their own. Pretty much hilarity and chaos ensues. Let's see. Okay, we've got Nicolas Cage, we've got Holly Hunter, we've got John Goodman, we've got John Forsythe, we've got, wow, her name just left, Frances McDormand, we've got Emmett Walsh, I guess those are the big ones. I'm not remembering anyone else off the top of my head. I think it's hilarious. I think it's endlessly quotable. If I had to find something wrong with it, if I had to nitpick at something I love, you know, it does start out as this very cerebral, talky, philosophical comedy, and it does kind of degrade into slapstick humor, chase scenes, violence, to where there isn't much speaking in the last 20 minutes. It's mostly just action. I'm fine with it. I watch this movie and I feel like I'm, 9 years old again. That's what it does to me. So I mean, I don't mind it much. To me, it's perfect. But, I could see where someone would say, well, it's not a 10. I mean, but again, it's very emotional for me. So it's an emotional 10, I thought the Blu-ray was gorgeous. Hold on. Hello? Alright, I'm on the way. Yep. Really, I mean, it did look gorgeous. It's so well written. It's hilarious. It gives you stuff to think about. It's about the nature of family. About being satisfied with your own life. It's also just hilarious. I laugh so much. I don't know if it's the Coen brothers' funniest film. I think that might be, Big Lebowski. But really, this is where it's at for me. I can't, I don't even know what else to say about it. It looks great. The cinematography, director of photography was Barry Sonnenfeld. I think that's interesting. Barry Sonnenfeld would go on to, have his own career, and always keep that same look. Also, the Coen brothers and Sam Raimi came up kind of at the same time. They're in the same generation, same class of filmmakers. They use lots of Sam Raimi's techniques in this film that Sam Raimi, as far as I know, invented. And since they were good friends and compatriots, they use it a lot. It's basically an effect of putting a camera on a 2x4 and having two people run with it, one on each end. And there's some just amazing camera work in this as well that was really forward-thinking at the time, with the exception of, like, Evil Dead. It wasn't done before. I don't really know what else to say. I've got to run, but I love this film. It's one of my favorites. It's a part of my DNA, I think. And if you've never seen it, again, I think along with Blood Simple, which I'll probably be watching pretty soon, again, it's a blueprint for the Coen brother films to come, and it definitely is a perfect definition of that quirkiness, odd, but still, that is one point I will make. This is like the only movie, well, I don't want to say only movie, but really the main characters, the protagonists, are not doing what's right. Usually in the Coen brothers film, it does focus on people who are doing right, and they just happen to have bad things happen to them. Or at least there's one character who is always doing right. Here, there's no one really good. They're all sinning in their own way. There is no Margie character from Fargo who is for truth and justice, where Bill Macy is just misguided, and Jerry Lundegaard. He's just misguided and does wrong. Here, everyone is misguided and does wrong, but yet it's all twisted, and it all seems like they can't really go through with it. So they can't be that bad. If they're that incompetent, they can't be evil. But it is unique in the Coen catalog, I think, to have characters like that. Again, if you're a Coen Brothers fan, then you've probably seen this a million times like I have, but you gotta see it. It's a necessity. So there you go. That's Raising Arizona. It's Hefty Hall of Fame, in my opinion. Solid 10. You know, you can't tell me otherwise. Thanks.